Okay, I think I am live streaming now. Hi, I'm Jane Frizzell. This is Basic Military Riding. We're going through Fort Riley horsemanship and horse mastership from 1935. We only use the pre-World War II version. It's very important. And we've talked about section 22, which defines a trained horse. So that's what we're making. We're making a trained horse. And we started in section 14, which identifies the four actions, which are, well, I go, turn, stop, and carry on, but it's basically go from the leg, stop from the rein, turn from an opening rein, right and left. I call it go, turn, stop, carry on. Four actions. Identifying what a trained horse is. And now we're jumping ahead in the textbook because for many years experience, this is a better way to prepare ourselves to understand the process of training the horse, which really is training their mind. Okay, so green horse knows nothing. And there's something that you have to buy into first, which is also spelled out in section 27. And I'm not going to, you guys need to read section 27. There is a conventional language that's been established that the horse can accept and understand, and that the rider or handler can easily impart. And that is the equestrian language, which is comprised of the four natural aids. The four natural aids are number one, and then the aids are always listed. The aids are listed in this order for a reason. Number one, the voice or sound. Number two, the weight of the seat. Number three, the leg, mostly at the girth, because that's where it should stay most of the time. And the hand. The hand is responsible for the contact between the rider and the bit. The bit, I'm getting ahead of myself. The hand operates the bit that's in the mouth, basically. Voice, seat, leg, hand. So it's a conventional language. And this is a language that has no nationality. There are accents in the way people ride. Like there's a little accent. Oh, I can tell he's from Portugal, the way he rides, or I can tell she da 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 da. But good riding is good riding. Now, I want to bring why this is so important, why I'm getting into section 27 is this is mostly what is absent and why riding has become so sort of dumb. It's because people don't really believe or accept that there's a literal language between a rider and a horse. They think it's a language of feel instead of a language of sensation. It is a language which, of course, we have to feel, but they think it's like, oh, I feel like they intuit their way through the whole thing, and it's just a matter of following their feeling. That is not what it meant. I think that could have even been a translation misunderstanding, right? It is a language of sensations. And these are as particular as Morse code or the alphabet or the Greek alphabet or hieroglyphics. They have a meaning. They're not different for each person and horse. It is a conventional established language. Okay. Now, so let's assume that you believe that. Most of you don't or won't believe it. But let's assume that you are a true rider and you're going to go with this. There is an actual language. It's a language of sensation. It's comprised of the four natural aids. Section 27 is going to, it's a very important section. And it is a theory section. But it lays out so many important ideas about this learning process. And what I want you to consider is that horse training is language teaching. We are teaching them a language, but it is a language instead of a speaking voice or writing the language. Instead, the output of this communication that starts with the rider's thought, goes into the horse's body, expresses itself in motion. And it can become extremely specific. I mean, I had a horse that he would say, oh no, shoulder in is 33 degrees, but half pass is 35 degrees. Like he knew, he was so well educated. He really knew these things. All right, I'm getting off track. Section 27, I'm just going to read you sort of a highlighted version so you can hear what it's going to talk about. How do we start teaching a language to an animal? The first thing they learn when they're little babies, when they get born, is they hear the farmer's voice when they're lying in the straw next to their mommy with the sack still there, okay? They hear the farmer's voice. So the voice is the first interaction with humans they have. Here's key parts of section 27. It is necessary to establish between them a sort of conventional language which the rider may easily learn and utilize, and which the horse may as easily understand and accept. For example, if a horse early on, if a horse moves forward at the click of a tongue, it's because one day he saw the whip, felt the string of it, and at the same time heard the click. So he associated these things. Whenever the last sensation affecting only the hearing is alone presented, those of sight and touch will come immediately to his mind, and he will react as he did under the effect of the string of the lash. So the horse is able to associate these sensations into meaning, which is a language. It is apparent that, and this example of the click, which with the string of the lash, that example of association is one of many. Close work exam, we also teach him the same things. He learns to go from the voice, from the string of the lash and the voice on the lunge line, and then he has a rider sitting on him, and he starts to feel the leg touch his side. That means go too. So he is able to associate the sensations, and he basically understands synonyms, and you can lead him through understanding the meaning of these sensations by using synonyms. It is apparent that there exists from the beginning the need for the greatest clearness in the impressions transmitted to the horse. This is important. It is on the distinctness of these first indications that the clarity of the entire language will depend, and in consequence, the rate of progress of the animal's education. Now, this is where things aren't happening well enough in the horse world these days, because no one will be clear. Being clear isn't being mean. It is being clear and it is being consistent. If I click my tongue, it means go. But if it doesn't mean go, sometimes you can't do that. People do that to horses all the time. That is why the horses are just jumbled up and don't operate as easily as they could. They are the most simple, willing, generous animals, creatures probably. But we've got to keep ourselves straight in our communications with them. So I'm going to read this again because I'm kind of harping on it. It is on the distinctness of these first indications that the clarity of the entire language will depend, and in consequence, the rate of progress of the animal's education. But it's not sufficient that the horse grasp the meaning of the requests made upon him. He must also have the pliancy of will to carry out the often distasteful requirements that the rider requires. Usually at the beginning, the horse will go, oh, no, it's hard. No, I don't want to. And all you have to do is kick. No, you have to, my darling. And they will say yes. And then that problem is solved for the rest of their lives. That is the pliancy of will to carry out it's just simply teaching. It's like teaching a child a little bit of self-discipline. Do the thing you don't want to do, and there will be a benefit. Go for a run. You'll feel better. You'll be a better athlete. You'll be better at soccer. Eat your vegetables. It's just simply disciplining and teaching an animal to have his own positive relationship with effort. Okay, so we have this very consistent procedure. The handler, rider, trainer is also extremely clear about this language of sensation so that person can impart it to the young animal. The consistency of this procedure will gradually result in a more and more prompt obedience, and finally, to an absolute and heartfelt submission. Now, that probably sounds really pie in the sky, but it's actually our marching orders. And adventuring out into new realms of discovery of, oh, but I can get this laser for him, or I can take him to a horse psychic or whatever. Teach him the language of riding. Let him have pride and enjoy his own effort. Okay, I think I've said enough about that for now. There's another key thing to pay attention to in this section that's referenced as the law of association of sensations. It's something that Saumur expounded on a little bit more, and Chamberlain also talks about Dr. Le Bon, who explained this, what the association of sensations is how a young child learns, but it's also how a horse learns. I guess that's Dr. Le Bon in a nutshell. So he is mentioned by Chamberlain, and I think Saumur. I don't think he's mentioned by Fort Riley, but that process of teaching young children and teaching horses, and I don't know dogs, I know horses, is identical. So this is section 27. I'm going to link, it might be up here in the car. I don't know what side it is. I don't know if I can link things on these live stream lectures. An example of when I am reading this section out loud with a horse right with me, showing how you can see his own education because he has the same reactions to the idea of the whip, the string of the whip touching him, the click of the tongue. All of those things he's able to associate and respond to. Okay. See you again soon.